He gets $150 a month for disability from that.
Try when you're in artillery, though.
Artillery, that's a guy stand back.
From Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers, it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
Oh, it looks like a full house today.
It is quite a full.
So I'm here with my good friend
Ron Stemka.
No, that's Ronnie Stemka.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I guess I'm DJ.
And you want to quickly give the rules before we go to our first caller?
Yeah, no cussing, and community standards and stuff.
Right, but everything's on the table.
Everything's on the table.
Everything
except water bills. We don't talk about water bills.
Right?
Caller's on the line.
Okay, caller, you're on.
Hey, Cass.
Oh,
How you doing?
Hey, it was good, Tiny.
Hey, I just want to let you know, did you ever went over the line? You said you were going to check things out.
Yeah, we did, but we didn't get a good answer from them.
Okay, you didn't get a good answer from them?
No, we got to push them a little different way because they got something coming up there. I'm going to take a walk and talk to them a little bit. Yeah, it's obvious you were right,
Yeah.
but we didn't get the kind of answer we thought out of them.
People do. They live in my building, and they think they should do something so the handicaps can get in and out of that place easier.
Well, yeah, they told me, well, they said there is access once you get up to, but that's the trouble, getting up the steps.
Which place was this? The
Downtown Y.
The Y, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have elevators inside the place, once you got in there, but getting in from the outside.
Yeah, they got to come up, the front may be a challenge.
Yeah.
But maybe they can do something from the rear of the building with a ramp or something.
The rear of the building.
Do they have anything at that, in the back there going towards the kids' part?
Well, that's what when I talked to them, they kind of didn't get into that real good. So I'd like to go over there and tour the facility sometime and see if there's a way around it.
What about one of those lifts?
Well, that one, you got to be, I don't know how good they are outdoors, okay?
They have outdoor ones, I'm sure.
Yeah, they probably do, but,
Waterproof.
I've never been on the back side of the building, so I got to see how it looks back there. I mean, the front would be a challenge.
Well, the entrance on...
Yeah, because someone mentioned it, that they probably could put an elevator or something in the back or some kind of a lift.
Elevators are pretty expensive.
Once you got in there,
but at least a lift.
there's inside the place.
Ronnie brought up a good point, but they probably closed that door down. Didn't they have one on the side?
They had it on the side on Peach Street.
One time, but I think...
One time, and you went into the alleyway, and you went to the Boris side of it. But couldn't they put something back there?
That's what I'm thinking, but, maybe you and I will take a ride someday and just go over there. They did some renovations, but they only renovated like a floor.
Yeah.
If they renovated a lot of the building, then you could probably force the issue.
Well, they used to have used to be paid by the week and stay there. You had apartments all for men only.
Yeah, they've been converting that to other use now.
Don't they get funded by the state, though?
Pardon?
Don't they get funded by the state?
Yeah, the only thing is, Tiny, sometimes to trigger certain developments, what happens traditionally is, if you'll see it downtown, all of a sudden you'll wonder why a restaurant is putting in a ramp when they never did before.
Yeah.
Well, that's because when you sell it, that's a triggering event. So that means now they have to come up to new standards. The kitchen has to be remodeled and everything. And, as long as you stay there with the same owner, a lot of things don't change.
Right.
It's the same like with a school building. If you repair it to a certain degree and a certain amount of money, a certain percentage of the value of the building, then that triggers all kinds of things like when we renovated some schools, we had to lower all the drinking fountains and everything because that was a substantial reinvestment. But I don't think the Y's done a substantial reinvestment.
Now look at the investment they put up there at Glenwood School. They must have got that dirt cheap because they just completely tore the place apart.
Well, it must have been worth it to them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you do in an old school building, though, you know? I
That
mean,
thing was, I don't know, they just put brand new
Why don't
doors
they
in.
make apartments in the old Roosevelt for the vets?
well, they haven't sold that school yet, so I don't know what they're up to. You know, everybody says, you know, do this, do that, but at one time they were going to sell Academy.
Yeah.
And
They would tear it down.
I heard they were going to tear it down.
well, there were many plans. One of them was the college was going to take it. The other one was the high school was going to take it. Another one was senior apartments. Another one was tearing it down. But
Yeah.
it was a complicated problem that because of there were many old covenants on how they could use the land
Right.
because it was dedicated. Plus, there was a lot of public pressure.
Yeah.
But it, you know, it's tough to do a lot with buildings.
Yeah.
Like Roosevelt, yeah, they probably could. Well, they did that with Columbus. They put apartments in there.
Yeah.
But you got to find somebody who wants to develop it first.
Right.
And is there a need? And is there, you know?
Yeah. And another thing I mentioned it too, you know, if PennDOT takes over the bus company, what are they going to do with what are they going to do with that over there?
What do you mean? Do with what?
Because if PennDOT took it over, won't they go to, on Route 19, the bus company?
If the state takes it over, they hire somebody to manage it. They come in.
Yeah.
They will keep I mean, I don't profess to know this, but they probably will keep their headquarters, their garage.
Yeah.
Although the projects that are currently being envisioned will probably be terminated or stopped.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to there are certain routes that are financed by the state and Fed.
Right.
Those will continue under their management.
Right.
But any other routes that are extraneous,
Yeah.
they could be dropped, yes. And it depends where the
You know, quite a few people will lose their jobs if PennDOT takes it over.
well, I think most of the areas that are outside the area are far. There could be, I'm not quoting, Waterford, Corey, yeah, maybe some parts of Fairview and stuff. So it's really tomorrow. It's in the hands tomorrow of the county council.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you've got any complaints, you better get down there and,
Okay, who's going to make this money up?
And another thing I wanted to ask you think they'll ever build a neighborhood grocery store?
well, actually, they're planning one in the new bus terminal.
Yeah, but when I talked to city councilman the last time,
Yeah.
they said that's quite a few years away. Now.
Well, it's on the next phase. It would be, it's the project that I'm trying to think, that would be phase 3 maybe. So you probably might be looking like 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Or sooner, depending on, you know, how how this mess is straightened out.
Right.
And outside of that, there is plans that they were hoping to build a what do you call it?
A bus ramp.
A market house down by the convention center.
Yeah.
That's another plan. As far as the grocery store downtown, the guy you want to talk to is from the downtown district, Mr. Buckner.
Buckner.
Yeah, he's the one that's in charge of the downtown improvement district.
Now, who's
But he ain't gonna listen to me. If I went to talk to him, he ain't gonna listen to me.
Well, he does listen. They sent a survey out recently asking people, you know, what they want. I find him very accommodable, and if you want to call him, you can tell him, you know, I sent you to him. You tell, you know, he likes hearing what you want because it gives him some ammunition now to go out and
Yeah.
to try to make it. You know, if a lot of people want a grocery store,
Yeah.
then it could happen. But now they got to go out and find somebody that's willing to invest. You know.
Yeah. You know, they put another pizza shop, Donimals on 14th and Beach.
Yeah, but there's also isn't there another one going out by Frontier Park?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Columbus.
Yeah, you know, investment is always good. I mean, I'd like to see, you know, there was a time when you had, let's see, at least 2 grocery stores downtown.
Yeah.
You had State Street Food Market and the one over here near Gannon, near Boston Store.
Yeah.
I forget what they called that one, but do you remember it?
not vaguely.
But you had two, and the college kids used to shop there a lot, but
That's what we need.
you know, college kids today are very mobile. They eat on campus,
Right.
and they got various food plans. But I think for a lot of people, like when you're talking about, you have now people they want to live downtown
Right.
of all different economic strata. It's not unusual, even in Chicago and those towns, to have a grocery store downtown. You know,
Yeah.
hey, they could take many forms. You could have one that deals in many types of food. You know, because
Yeah.
you know, hopefully you'll have different economic strata living downtown.
Yeah. Well, you can buy sliced lunch meat, fresh, and that, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely a need, but you know what? You have to show the need before someone's going to come in here.
Yeah.
But you know, I say call. I have to get you the number for DID.
Well, you give it to Rose, and then when I go down there and see Rose, then
Well, yeah, just ask Rose to get it for you. She'll have it, and you call it Mr. Buckner and tell him, say, hey, you know what? I know you're busy. Even if you talk to one of us, say, you know, a lot of my neighbors and fellow tenants would like to ask you about a grocery store. He'll probably tell you about the one that's going in the bus station.
yeah.
And you know,
That's down the road from now.
yeah, it is. But I mean, that may be our only option. You know.
Yeah.
If the state takes it over, they're going to lay off 30.
Well, let's try to look positive, okay?
I'm just saying what's coming down.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, thanks, Tiny.
All right. Bye.
Okay.
I think we should have a store, but I don't know why we have to keep waiting for phases. You know, they say we're in phase
Well,
1, 2, or 3.
hey,
We got to wait 3
here's the
years,
thing,
4
there-
years, and 5 years.
Any business that comes downtown is looking for first a location,
Yeah.
and then they're going to say they're probably going to tell you it's a risk. So you know, the bus station's going to say maybe we give them a little break on the rent. You know,
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
hold your thumb, mark it down. We're going to talk. Go ahead, caller.
Good afternoon. I see our buddy Ron Stemka's back from serving his suspension for being too negative.
There's a guy that knows it.
Kidding?
We banned him to
I just don't
Siberia.
like it is, you know.
Okay, I'd like to talk about blighted housing. You talked about it 3 weeks ago on your last show.
Yeah.
Some lady called in. You said with code enforcement, you were trying to get together with Councilman Brenneman and get the houses fixed up so the veterans could use that housing, which I have nothing against because I'm a veteran myself. But I'm not chastising you or anything.
Right.
But I didn't hear the words refugees or immigrants used. They need housing too.
Well, you know, there's a long-range plan that council's working on, and we talked about it a little bit at the last council meeting. Councilman Jones and I were in Lancaster a couple of weeks ago, and we were privy to some talk about what's being done out east more so than out west here. And we're working on what they call a land bank, where the redevelopment authority will buy parcels, and we will have people that are recommended to do building and renovation that will hopefully attack all those areas: veterans, immigrants, you know, people that want to just live downtown again. And right now we're preparing the ordinance to set up the land bank. Once that goes into effect, and I'm not saying it's going to be instantaneous, but we're expecting the ordinance to come down hopefully before the end of the year. And if we get the land bank in place, that'll be another tool where we can proactively start buying land and through incentives and other methods.
And would that give that 10-year abutment when they buy these houses to refix
It could possibly, yes, you know. Hey, you know, we got to do whatever we can to, first of all, like this gentleman said, tearing down blight is tough because the definition of blight is not what we think.
Right.
And we, you know, so by setting up land banks and we also are trying to do this enforcement issue where we go out and cite people a little quicker and we don't have it go through the DJ system. We're going to set up our own court, which is another thing we have to set up through legal proceedings. So it's not, I know, sir, it's nothing that we're ignoring right now. And unfortunately, Councilman Brenneman and I are tied up with EMTA, and hopefully that'll be over Tuesday. And I'll get together with him about tell them what we want to do in the city, and hopefully we can work together and get all these good things going, land bank and everything, because there's no doubt that blight right now, or even houses that we consider blighted that aren't technically blighted, we need to start attacking them.
Well, that sounds good, but I have another idea here.
Go ahead, I'm looking. We need ideas.
Who runs the local Habitat for Humanity organization?
Mm-hmm.
But when they build new houses, which I'm also for, but they only build a couple a year, maybe they could change their mission and start rehabbing some of the blighted homes that we have here in the city of Erie, and can set a new standard for their organization.
Yeah, well, I guess that's going to be, that's a good one. I like that, but I'm going to have to check and see whether we can start doing it with, how we go about that legally. And that seems to be the biggest roadblock with anything we want to do. But I like the idea. You're saying have Habitat.
Rather than building new homes, maybe they could fix up to 20 to 30 a year, because the unions and a lot of church organizations pitch in with the help. And if they can just get some material from the donations from big companies like Lowe's, or grants from the government, maybe we could rehab 30 homes a year instead of building just 2 or 3 new ones.
Well, the next blighted review meeting, I got to go to it. I'm going to bring that up, and I'm going to ask them about whether Habitat can also be considered one of the groups that we could, when we get this land bank going, that we could turn over some stuff to them too.
And just real quick, the 3 food shops that were downtown when we were kids were Rudy Voss's.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
And you had Miser's Food Market on Peach Street between 8th and 9th. People forget about that one.
Miser's on 8th and 9th.
It must be on the west side, huh?
Well, it's torn down now, because that's where they built the Carlisle department store.
Oh, on 8th and 9th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the second one?
Singers, he said.
All Singers.
That's what we called the State Street Food Market, didn't we?
Right. El Singer's State Street Food Market, and what was unique about it, he had checkers at the front of the store and the back of the store.
Yeah, and went right into the back parking lot. There was a stairwell.
And you just shop real quick, get 5 or 6 items, and go right to your car.
In fact, if you look back there, you can still see the stairwell where you used to go in the back.
I'll have to check that out the next time I go by it.
Well, was there, I shouldn't say, was there at least 10 years ago, I remember that. I was looking at it, and I said, oh, that's where my mother used to go to shop.
And he had that.
And Rudy Voss, that was the one in the Boston store, right?
Yeah, right. But that was the one closest to City Hall down there on Peach Street.
Yeah, that was a nice addition. You go right from the Boston store into there, and you never had to.
They were 3 good locations, really.
Yeah, and there was a time and place when they were all busy too.
That's for sure. Okay, it was nice talking to you, gentlemen. I'll give somebody else a chance.
Yeah, and I like your ideas, by the way.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye.
Transit Authority, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the way I understand it, the Transit Authority gets taken over by the state.
Yeah.
They're going to lay 35 people off completely. They're going to stop. They're going to stop the construction right then and there.
Yeah,
Okay, and they're going to stop buying the buses.
right.
Okay.
At
And
least
now-
initially.
Right. And how much does the county give the city? $100 and some thousand a year.
No, what the figures tossed out there were, okay, after the other matches, another Mill Creek was given the paltry total of $20,000.
Okay.
I was told by their numbers, this is where I'm getting them from. So if I'm wrong, I'm going to say my source was wrong. Summit was given like a ridiculous amount of $1,600. Now Northeast Campus of Mercyhurst, they gave some money. Edinboro Campus gave some money. City of Corey gave some money, and to sponsor, right, because they're outside that circle.
Right outside the loop.
Okay, so now the figure that was tossed around was $330,000 by the county and $270,000 by us.
Okay, now
Now wait a minute, but now which one seems higher?
the county.
But is it?
We don't know. We don't got no facts.
Well, no, you don't have to. You can know one thing. Know this: all city residents are county residents.
Right,
but not all county residents are city residents.
right.
So now when we pay our county taxes, okay, a portion of the county contribution, they need to tell you more?
Do we know what percentage of money is?
I thought it was 30-some percent, but if they say if they use the assessed value of the property in the city, which is going down,
Yeah.
it would, with that is, I say, it's going down because we got a lot of tax exempts too.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
24, population-wise, we're about 37, 38% of the county. Assessed value, we're about 24%. So immediately, you take 24, roughly 1/4 of 330, right?
Yeah.
Which is about 80,000, I'm just off the top of my head, 80-some thousand.
I got a
Add
figure
that
of
on top of
Take 80-some thousand off the 330, what's that give you? Well, let's do it, ready? 330 minus 80, 250. So now you take 270, add 80. Mr. Simca, what does that give you?
I didn't hear it.
350.
That's what the county,
No, the county, if they gave 330 and we take 80,000 out, which is the city residents' share of the county contribution, double taxation, that comes out to 250,000.
okay.
And if you take our 270, add the money back on our side of the ledger, and consider it our contribution,
But just say the counties, they
It's
get,
350 then.
They don't pay it. Who's going to make that money up? The mayor said we'll make it up. How much money you have in that treasury?
if they don't make it up,
Right.
it is up to the EMTA, okay? It is up to the EMTA, not the city.
Now, if they don't pay it, it comes back on the city.
If we pay, let's say we're stuck with the old baby,
Right.
okay, we're going to pay what's required, and if there's money that's not being paid, well then, what do you think the EMTA has to do?
Well, they can say, forget it. We don't have to pay.
I mean, if
The state takes it
the
over.
county don't pay,
They
right?
cut services.
EMT has to do what they have to do.
But the mayor said he'd make it up. Now, where is he
Well,
going
the mayor, you're quoting him out of context, okay?
Okay, I'm-
Sometimes, when media quotes you, they're not quoting the whole conversation.
Like, nah, everything's screwed up with
Did he say that? Yeah, but he said it amongst a larger, broader topic, okay? Go ahead, caller.
Hi, Kaz. I had a question. I got to do an absentee ballot for a relative. Is it okay if I just take it right down to the courthouse instead of mailing it so it doesn't get tied up in the mail?
I think you can. I don't know why there's a reason you can't. You know what I'll do? I'll go have somebody call right away and report the results, okay?
It actually said in there that if you got to bring it down personally. But with the mail nowadays, I mean, it's going to go down to Pittsburgh before it comes back here.
That's true. Are you doing it for somebody you know, right?
Yes.
I'll go and check. I'll have somebody call the courthouse and check for me.
Yeah, that would be cool. So
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem, but not working there, I don't want to say something.
Yeah. And I guess it has to be, you got to have the absentee ballot, when they send you the ballot,
Yeah.
have to be in by the 4th, I heard.
Yeah, you got to get it back in time so that they're secured. And I've actually been there when they open them up. They open them up at the voting site.
Oh, okay.
So what they do is when you send them back in, they send those absentees to your district. And then if I remember right, watching them, they open them up right there in the
How
spot.
many people watching as they open them?
Well, you're under law.
I'm just asking.
Wait a minute. Under law, every candidate is allowed a representative. And every site, like I am in charge of the 15th, I'm not a worker. I am the committee person. I am allowed to be a watcher. So, I mean, it's above board. But yeah, I'll check for you, sir, and I'll give you the announcement right over the air.
Okay, so are you saying that they will open them up on the 8th?
What I think they do is they want them back because they got to be secured.
Yeah, I heard the 4th.
And then I think if I remember right, they open them up right at the voting booth.
Okay, so if they have them before the 8th, then they will be counted.
Well, listen, they want them back in their possession by the 4th, right?
Yeah, that's what I heard. But if you're saying they open them up right there when...
Yeah, but I think they want them in the county's possession on the 4th, then they're secured, and then they're...
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, there's probably a period of time that they want them in their possession. They're locked up, secured, and then I think they're distributed to the voting sites, like with the marshals on the day of the election.
Yeah, okay, I see. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, because if you ever go there at night, you'll see the voting totals, and you'll see the absentee totals at the bottom, and you can also watch the write-ins, which are very interesting.
Okay. And I have one more question too.
Sure.
License plates. Now I heard they're doing away with that little sticker.
Yeah, they are. That's what I heard.
Okay, so that means we're getting new license plates, correct?
Well, I don't know how many we're going to get. They never said. I didn't hear if they're going to make like one a year or not. But I heard they basically, the stickers are kind of like, they're very costly, irrelevant.
How could it be costly? You get license plates that are made out of metal.
Well, no, they're talking about the stickers.
Yeah, the stickers, yeah.
So probably the process and the mailing of the sticker, they're saying,
Another way of screwing the people.
they're saying that they're going to do, I think they're going to do something with your registration that'll take care of that.
Well, no, I heard they're gonna. Well, that's what I'm trying to find out if we are getting new license plates. But they say they're getting rid of the sticker, and that a police officer can just scan your vehicle to find out if you're valid.
Maybe, yeah, that would make me think that the plates will be that way.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Unless they scan your registration card. Hey, you know what? I'll see if they can call Councilman Harkin's office for me. I mean, not Councilman, Representative Harkin's office. See if I can get you an answer before we go off the air.
yeah. I asked Sue's notary before. They had no idea.
Well, they probably don't know yet, but I'm pretty sure the legislators will.
Well, Bizarro's in our area, right?
Pardon?
Bizarro's in our area, isn't he?
Well, he's
Whatchamacallit's place.
well, he's not mine is Harkins or Wiley. You can get. I just know, I know Harkins a lot better. I'll call his office for you.
Yeah, if you could find out and let us know.
Okay, I'll do that right now.
Whenever, and then if you can call and find out about that absentee ballot too.
Okay,
See if I could just go down there today and just drop it off.
no problem.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Okay, can you take a phone call for 2 minutes?
Sure. I can talk to Ron.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about the inflow of refugees coming into Erie. 10,000. 10,000 coming into Erie.
Hold that thought. Taxpayers Hotline, how can we help you?
Oh, hi. I was wondering if anybody knows who's responsible for the water in the fountain on the bayfront between Broad Street and McClellan.
The water in the fountain?
Yeah, there's a fountain for runners or bikers or whatever on the bayfront.
What's that between? Between the bayfront?
Hammermill.
Between McClellan and Broad Street.
Well, I will ask Kaz when he steps back in here. McClellan and Broad Street. What was your question about it? Just who's responsible for keeping it running?
Yes.
All right. As soon as Kaz comes back in, I will ask him, and we will say it on the air.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thanks for calling.
Me and LaCourt checked before he passed away, brought up about the influx of refugees in Erie, okay? And now we got so many people, especially school districts, being wrapped. How many out of 10,000 people, how many kids are going to school? 3,000, 4,000 people?
I don't know.
That's an impact on the school district. And then they're coming in. When does this stop? The Catholic Diocese...
it's probably not going to stop. How long have we had refugees? Forever. America's built on refugees.
But I lived on 18th and Cherry with all Italians. They had to take a physical, they had to get an IQ test, and then when he had 18, they had a job. Okay, these people are coming in, and they're getting everything for nothing. My son-in-law, this grandson, rented an apartment in Bell Valley there with the garages,
Yeah.
And he's paying close to $1,000, and he took his his daughter for a ride, my granddaughter, He said the whole one area is all refugees because they come in here and they don't care what the rent costs. The government's going to pay for it.
Well, in my opinion, I don't think anybody should get anything for free.
Well, they are.
People have to earn stuff, and I'm just talking about everybody, not just refugees.
We're going to have to. The only way to solve this argument and calm Ronnie down, we're going to have to get somebody here from.
The International Institute?
Yeah.
That's where the money's. Who's paying for that?
Yeah, let's find out.
I mean, when are they going to slow it down? Because if they all these people.
Why don't you do me a favor, Ronnie?
What?
This will be your mission. You call over there.
I'll get too excited.
Huh?
I'll get too excited.
I grew
up on 18th. So
tell me you would like them to come on our show.
I lived on 18th and Cherry, okay? And Italians came in. They couldn't speak English, but we had teachers already there. And they taught these kids. And these kids, like, they were going into second grade.
My wife taught these kids, okay?
Yeah, but that was back in the 50s.
No, my wife taught them this 2 years ago, okay?
Right.
There are many good ones, okay?
There are a lot of good ones.
They're supposed to be
having an impact on the school district.
They're supposed to be, well, they're always going to have an impact.
Not that many, 10,000 people. How many are kids?
What do you mean not that much? You just said there's an impact.
Yeah, it's an impact on the school district and their taxes and the housing authority.
Well, you know, Ronnie, it comes down to the state's inability, okay, to fund public education. You have the federal and the state accepting immigrants, okay?
What's the cutoff line?
What do you mean cutoff?
How many people? There's 10,000.
Well, they're not going to. You have to talk to the federal government and the state.
Yeah, but the government ain't doing nothing. The government they're doing nothing. They're paying them all off. Hey, somebody's going to call on that.
You always get off the hook.
That's right.
That's off the hook. Okay, I got one for you. A lady just called up and asked about the water fountain between McClellan and Broad Street. She was wondering who is responsible for keeping that upkeep. Yeah, there's a water fountain between McClellan and Broad Street.
What's water fountain?
I wasn't 100% sure. You know where she was talking about? It was like on a bike path. In a park on a bike path or something.
Oh, what to find out. Go ahead, caller.
We'll look into it.
Yes. I got a question. Down here where the Port Authority, where they built the hotel.
Correct.
Did it on the bay? How much of that is all that property owned by the Port Authority?
I believe it. Well, it's a combination of the Port Authority and the Convention Center.
Okay, so what if somebody wanted to put an additional attraction down in that area? Could they do that? Or, in other words, I'm wondering, I know you got Waldemere, but...
there's nothing that... There is a plan that they got for the GAF site. It's a plan that they envisioned as far as it shares the mayor and council's vision, which is we desire it to be a mix of residential, commercial, and what we call entertainment, like, restaurants and stuff.
For tourism.
Office and stuff. Yeah, but a combination, because to make it work, they envision they envision like 3- and 4-story buildings. So maybe on a couple of top floors you might have housing, then on the bottom floor retail, maybe office on the second. There's nothing. Well, here you got to remember that any development along the bayfront is under the waterfront conditional use. So that has to come before council, and before it could be done. Now, could Nick Scott put something in on his property down there?
Yes.
With proper okay from council and the zoning and all that, it's a possibility.
What I'm thinking about, Kaz, you remember a few years back, I'm probably about 5 or more years ago.
Yeah.
Someone was talking about wanting to put in some dancing fountains, with
Well, there's nothing that prevents that. No, in fact, I think it's a good idea. I mean, I thought, like when we did the fountain in downtown Erie, we could have done it there too. Other towns have done it. It's costly. It's not a cheap date to.
But it's supposed to tie it in with, say, organ-type music,
Yeah, you can do it. It's not. I'll tell you this. It's not cheap. I did some checking. There's a couple There's a place in Allentown that has it in a private development. Other communities have done it in their parks. No, there's nothing that says we can't. In fact, as part of the plan on the GAF site, there is some land that's going to be restricted for what they call green space. So there's absolutely nothing that says you could not. There's nothing preventing if somebody came up with the funds or the idea to put, let's say, a fountain in there with dancing waters.
Well, see, I'm thinking I don't know what kind of design that they have for that GF site, but I'm thinking if you say you wanted to create, like, with the tourism possibility at the hotels there, take a walk around little village, and in the center have these dancing fountains,
You know what you need to do? I can't remember. I think it used to be on Go Erie. It might be on a couple of TV sites had the plan on the computer.
Right. Well, I don't do the computer.
No, if I could get you a book if it's still available, if I can find an excess copy. But there's a whole plan about, and the plan is flexible because, they can envision anything they want, but now the next step is getting people to invest into it. So there is a general outlook that on that property alone, not counting the other property, we're not counting like Nick Scott's, I guess I missed the paper last couple of days. He's got plans on,
Well, Scott does.
Yeah, he's been, so he's got plans for various buildings, commercial, retail, and, there's nothing prevents him from maybe putting a small water park in or something.
Whose idea of putting that parking right by that new hotel? Whose idea was that?
You mean the park in front of it?
Yeah, that park.
That was put in.
It covers all the. You can't even see the bay anymore.
What do you mean?
Down there.
What park?
You got that hotel, and then you got that new parking. Why didn't you put that over in the parking lot?
What, the park?
No, that parking garage. Put it over by the parking.
I thought you meant there's a park because the council wanted some green space in front of the hotel.
Right, but
before we signed up.
Parking ramp should have put over.
I'll tell you why they did that real quick. Go ahead, finish up.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say one of the things I would like to see associated with the dancing fountains is the fact that Erie is somewhat historically a place where organs were built.
You're right.
And I'd like to see that tied in with the history of organ building in the city of Erie. That would tie a historical feature to it. And maybe even have a little bit of a historical museum, not maybe museum, but maybe an outlet to buy historical figures from Erie,
Well, I don't know if they're going to have any more public hearings on that site. They may. That's the time that you want to, get some input into there. But I've always been a fan of parks and fountains. I like them. When you go to Chicago, they got Buckingham Fountain there, but there's other towns I've seen with the, incorporating the dancing waters, to some degree.
Yeah.
They're not cheap. I was told that, But having said that, they are a nice fixture. And I know kids like them.
Yeah, I know the fellow does all the programming for the dancing fountains in Las Vegas. That's why I was wondering what it would take to get something like that going here, because it's a tourist attraction. It makes a feature of for those who are visiting the downtown hotels there to take in and be photographed at or whatever.
Well, I think you got a good idea, because if they if the GF site is developed as they want, like a mini village,
right?
Then as people, and I've told people this, when you go on conventions or you're just visiting our downtown or visiting one of the hotels down there, people love to walk. They love to walk along the water. They love water. So, if you have a park setting I think that's a natural. And I would like to see like little vending things there, like I joke about it, the candy covered peanuts, the popcorn, the little places that sell you crushed ice.
There isn't too much land left, is there?
Well, there's a lot more than you think there.
I was down there looking around.
But go ahead, Doug.
The one thing they might be able to do, and that because they can't do it where it should go, but maybe build something to the replica of maybe Fort Presque Isle there.
That was envisioned. I remember a few years ago somebody talked about, to do it where it belongs, that's a little difficult because I think it's near the soldiers and sailors home.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly where the site was, exactly. There are probably historical people that got a better idea than I do, because there were some digs done many, many, many years ago.
They found four corners of what they thought it was.
But those kind of developments, like when you look at Colonial Williamsburg, they're done by like Henry Ford or somebody that a nice endowment that can do that. Because you think of the ghost town in Pittsville. You remember that, Doc?
That hole, and
you
go to Fort Niagara.
Yeah, I thought about how nice Pittsville could be if they could build a couple of those old buildings back up.
Well, they depends on like you say, who has the money to do it, though.
Yeah, when people do something like that, they want to be able to make money off it. And if they can't make money off it, they're not going to do it. I was down in Savannah. They had this fort, beautiful fort, Civil War fort, but it's not open to the public generally because there's no funding,
Right. I guess you got to have somebody to. Well, you can even do, like eventually reenactments. You got Civil War reenactors here.
The trouble with the Commonwealth is they have pretty much killed historical development. You remember? Well, look at Pittsville. They shut down the museum for a while. They had volunteers.
Yeah.
And they really haven't exploited that one. They used to have like lantern tours, and it was all volunteer people that did it.
For the sake of their listeners, Pittsville is located just below around Pleasantville in Venango County.
Yeah, it's an interesting trip. I mean, you're not going to see anything except for where the town was, and they got a very nice museum when it's open.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's courtesy of the volunteers.
Well, just throwing out some ideas for that, because like you're saying, we need to get something to make Erie stand out again, bring businesses back in.
Well, do you remember when we were young men and they had those two fountains at the end of State Street?
Right.
And then they took them out because people were complaining water was blowing on them?
Oh, plus a lot of people were doing their swimming stuff in there too.
But remember they were actually out when they had the Transaway Mall up?
Huh?
Then they took them out after about a year. You probably don't even remember that.
Oh, I remember that. I remember the bathrooms down below ground.
Pardon? Yeah, they recently dug those up, and they were surprised. They called me in and Jim Clem and I, because we remember them. Hardly anybody remembered what they were.
You find anybody that got buried in there with them?
No, but interestingly enough, because they didn't backfill them properly, you could see a lot of the door frames and some of the implements of usage down there. I will go no further.
I could just picture you finding a flush valve and flushing.
Yeah, no, but I took a piece of marble from there. I got it at home.
Okay.
That thing was built with marble on the wall. I mean, it wasn't, it was done rather nice. But you could see all the pipes and the heaters. They were just buried, backfilled, but not very efficiently.
It's amazing that we could, back then, have that publicly open and not worry about much damage is being done to it. I mean, of course, there's abuse of it, but not...
Yeah. Well, today, you know what, you got many issues.
Yeah.
You got the drug culture, a lot of other things, and, it would be a nightmare for police.
Oh, I wouldn't even trust putting up something like that. Well, anyway, guys, I just want I'm trying to think of some ways to help get this.
Well, I like that idea, Doc, and it's something that I think we need to look at, developing more parks. Mm-hmm. And maybe, like I said, I saw a dancing fountain at a place called the Promenade in outside Allentown. It was just right near a Starbucks, and all the kids go and play. What do you think the parents do? They're buying coffee.
Didn't they have dancing fountains in front of the Times News for a while?
I don't know if they were dancing, were they?
Yeah, they were dancing.
Oh, they did?
They were for a while.
But what he's talking about is the kind you can step on, and
Yeah. We should have all sorts of tourists.
they got lighted shows and the music.
Yeah.
Maybe we can inherit those fountains and put them in. That would cut down on some of the cost.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you go at it there, and thanks for taking my call. And DJ, good to hear you on the TV again.
Yeah, I'm back.
You could be his sidekick. I wouldn't call you Pancho, but maybe Tonto.
He's Sancho Pancho.
Sancho Pancho.
Well, there's a lot of those sidekicks.
I got Sancho Pancho and Pancho Villa on the other side.
Well, if he was Pancho, you'd have to be Cisco.
There you go.
No, we'll call him Rocinante.
Rocinante. Ooh.
That's Don Quixote's horse.
Well, you guys have fun at it.
Don Quixote. See you, Doc.
Okay, let's bring up the issue about putting in grants for...
You asked why they built a parking ramp there, too, and I was going to answer you.
What was the answer?
Because it's on the condemned property portion of the land.
Cover it up, just like they did the airport. Right?
That's the only thing they can put there. Go ahead, caller.
Somebody has to put a clock on some of these people.
I know, it's my fault. Well, my timekeeper's been gone for a while, so...
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Gannon doesn't pay taxes, correct?
Correct.
Okay, why would the city loan them some money to redecorate this Father Nash's library or something?
The library.
Opened up a satellite.
It's a grant that's given to cities, and it has to be used for educational purposes.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
What? And they just opened up a satellite school in Florida.
A couple of years ago, yes.
And why would the city loan them money?
How much was it, too? How much was it?
I have no idea.
I have to look on the last agenda.
160 or something like that?
The last couple months.
Yeah, there's a committee that looks over the applications, but it's one of those things that the Commonwealth gives you money and tells you it's for the express purpose of expenditures for local institutions in your... Pardon?
That's the library.
Yeah, but I mean, it's for...
Now, is that our library or Gannon's library?
Gannon's
That's
library.
Gannon's library.
Gannon.
Yeah. See, the fund is set up for, it's called the Education Trust.
Right.
Okay, it can't be used for anything else.
Right.
So it has to be used for Gannon, Mercier's, some of it's in our geographic, in our political area.
Okay.
Okay, so that's only, it could be LECOM too. All
They
right?
got away with murder already.
Well, they are, but I mean, the grant is there from the Commonwealth, it has to be used for that. So I guess it comes down to, they have to submit their application to this group who gives us approval, and then we either authorize or we don't. It's through there's an advisory board. I'll try to get you the names of the people on that board, okay, sir?
So theoretically, my taxes are paying for this for Gannon, correct?
Oh, yes, there's no doubt about that. Any grant that the government gives us, that emanates from taxpayers.
And I'm 84 years old and I'm still paying school tax.
Well, I said if we could get out of Gannon and Mercier's and LECOM, because not as LECOM's in the city, part of it.
If they say, we're going to spend all this money, we'll build these other places around where they're at now, and you're talking millions and millions.
Just so you know, sir, the only two large entities, are you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah, the only two that really even attempt to pay us anything, and they call that a pilot agreement, which is an acronym for...
in lieu of taxes.
Yeah. And the only ones that pay presently is the two hospitals, St. Vincent, I almost said Strong, St. Vincent and Hammett, UPMC.
But they do it in lieu of taxes, right?
Well, they pay 50% of their what would be their assessed value on the property that would be taxable. LECOM does not, Gannon does not, Mercier's does not. Okay, so what happens with them? Occasionally they buy us something.
Buy a couple cruiser cars.
Yeah, I don't like that idea. I would rather have the
set amount.
Yeah, I even think 50% is low, but if you knew what they get in Pittsburgh don't even get 50%. I hate to say that 50 is good, but around the Commonwealth it's a pretty good figure. But this gentleman's right, It's like those two hotels, sir. They don't pay taxes either.
Like the one down here on the bayfront.
Are you still there, sir?
I'll let somebody else call it.
Okay, but thank you for calling, but I share your concerns, and I'll try to get you more information on that trust fund, okay?
Okay. Have a good day.
Okay.
Okay, real quick, I found McClellan Park, and I'm wondering if that's the one she's talking about.
McClellan and Broad, though.
Yeah, there's like nothing, they don't cross, because Broad is just a very short street between...
If she could call back real quick.
Yeah, she could call back, but what I was basically going to say is pretty much...
If it's a city park, it would be our concern.
If it's a city park, we have a Parks and Rec department, right?
Yes, they would have to fix it.
Who would we contact
Well, I got to find out where it is first.
Well, like park, if it's a city park, who do I talk to?
Public Works.
Public Works. Okay, and I can talk to them, or ma'am, if you don't call back, you can call Public
If she
Works
calls
and ask
back,
them.
it gives me a location.
Yeah,
I'm
well-
trying to think, McKellen Broad, it sounds like that park.
Yeah, I got a list of parks, but
Go ahead, caller.
Oh, hi. I'm the one that called about
Good. Yes.
the fountain.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
fountain.
where is that fountain?
Fountain. It's on the Bayfront Parkway, the multi-purpose, just on the multi-purpose trail between Broad Street and McClellan.
Okay, it's a walkway.
On the north, well, of course, and there's a bench, and there's a drinking fountain.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. I'm going to have to look in. I have to go upstairs right after the meeting and check.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the maps. I can't even.
Well, she's talking about, that's the walkway trail, right?
It's a walkway, bike path.
It's the multi-purpose trail, the Bayfront trail.
Okay. Does that go along the highway there?
Right.
For a little bit.
Oh, okay. That might be the state, but I have to check.
Okay. Well, the reason was that when they put it in, I could always get a drink of water when I was running. But this last month, there was no water in the drinking fountain.
So it's on the north side by a bench, right?
Right.
Between McClellan and Broad.
Right.
And it's right along the highway.
Yes.
Okay.
North side.
I'll check. Some of that is under the Commonwealth, but I'm not sure if where our responsibility begins there. So I'll go up to Public Works and check with them.
Okay.
Okay. Should I call back, or should I give you my phone number?
Well, you know what? Call me on. We got 5 minutes. Call me off the air. Okay. As soon as we go off the air, call this number. Okay.
Okay.
And then
Call us right back on this as soon as.
yeah, as soon as we say goodbye and we go off the air, call back and I'll take the number down here so nobody hears it. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just call that number when you go off.
Yeah, the one that you just called us on now. So
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay.
Okay, no, sorry, Ron. This is my turn. We got 5 minutes left. I want
I
to.
just want one thing.
Nope. Nope. My turn.
Go ahead, caller.
Suck it all up.
I am.
Cat, did you find out if I could drop off that absentee ballot form?
Oh yeah, we just got. I haven't even had a chance to look. She gave me my answer. Let's see. According to here's the license plate thing. No stickers and no other changes. That's what she was told. That's on the website. So we'll try to find out more. But she just did that real quick. But it says anyone can drop off an absentee ballot. You got that, sir?
Okay.
You go to room 112.
Yep.
And the office has a locked metal box for the ballots. And the deadline is November 4th, 2016. So that's what I thought. They want them secured,
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't be confused. This is the absentee ballot application.
Yeah, it says, you got to, you have to fill them out.
Yes.
Yeah.
This isn't the actual, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump is not on this form. You know what I mean?
Oh, wait a minute. That's right. You haven't, hang on. You know what?
I think you asked the wrong question.
No, yeah, I'm thinking, now see, what they usually do is you get an absentee ballot, you fill it out, okay? You follow me, sir? You fill it out, and then they mail you the ballot to your house. Did you get an actual ballot where you had the people on there to vote for?
No, all I got is the form from the state store.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the first process of getting this done.
Yeah, okay.
Supposed to mail it to? They're supposed to mail it here?
Well,
I would fill it out and bring it to where you're supposed to. Take it to the courthouse because
that's what I'm just saying. If they don't want it, I'll throw it in the mail.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I would take it down. You can take it down to them, and
I'll see if they'll accept it. If they won't accept it, I'll tell them, hey, it's not for me, it's for a relative, but
Yeah, because what they got to do now is they have to mail you an actual ballot.
Oh, yeah, I know. Then that has to be back by the 4th. I know. That's why I got to get the ball rolling on this.
Yeah, but I would guess they would take it back if you wanted to hurry it up and drop it off.
Yeah, I'm going to go down there. They're open until 5, right?
Yeah, and then call me next week and tell me how you made out.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking you had the actual ballot, but no, you're right. You have to get in quick because, they're going to send the other one back to you, and you only got till November 4th to fill that one out.
Yep.
So get it downtown.
Yeah, I'm going to run it down there in an hour or so. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, thanks. Then call us back next week and tell us how you made out.
Okay, guys. Welcome back, too. Thanks.
Thanks. Let us know.
I misunderstood whether he had the actual. I thought he had the ballot.
Ron's got an announcement.
There was a breakfast for the vets down at 3rd Street Falcon.
Oh, when is
I
it?
call. I think it's the 7th. I'm not sure.
Friday. Oh, another month. Next month. That would be a Monday. That's not.
That'd be a 6th.
6th.
So the vets,
Sunday
you
the
got to call
6th.
ahead of time and make an appointment,
Oh,
You're
okay.
gonna be there.
The 3rd Street Falcons.
You want me to call him and see get some information?
Yep.
I'm a member down there. I haven't been down there lately, but
There you go. You should get down there.
veterans, and I know it used to be the Nova Aurora did one too.
Yeah, they do one now.
I have to.
doing
You,
it too.
do you have the date?
Not yet. I got.
Jimmy
I'll
D.
go
Dad.
down there after here.
Jimmy usually calls me D-Dad. He fills me in.
Well, I don't have a lot of time to talk here because we are kind of out of time, but I just wanted to say I just came back from Colorado and I brought some things with me that I wanted to share. Their parking meters take credit cards,
Yep.
and it was a lifesaver.
They had them in Lancaster too.
I swear it was. I didn't have any cash, and all I had to do was slide my card. So I don't know if that's something that's in discussion.
It is, and
But-
I have
How
an.
much would it take to
I will
do
be
that?
I don't care. I will be a proponent for it because it will make its money back in 1 year,
I will have an update. I have.
whatever it costs.
I have a parking authority meeting coming
Yeah.
up first week in November.
Yeah.
I will ask them at the meeting. It isn't talks. In fact, they approach council.
I'm serious. It was the most fantastic thing because it will send you a text message before
Lancaster
your meters.
had one.
Your meter's about to run out. You have 5 minutes to come back.
You can
and put
load 'em
order
there.
in it. I'm a proponent. I will sing the praises of this all day and all night.
What's going to happen if the parking authority? Well, the parking authority is actually looking at it.
Yeah, good.
They approached council early this year.
Yeah.
It will cost them money, so we're going to have
cost,
to.
but it's going to pay for
We're
itself.
going to have to work out something with them.
Yeah.
But basically, what they're going to do initially is when they pick a company, they're going to look it over, see which one matches. Now, the way we're going to do it, not every meter is going to have a.
Right.
Did they have it in Colorado?
In Colorado, they had both types. They had meters that you could card directly, or you could go get a ticket for your car and pay that.
What
and that
we're
would
probably going
text
to do
you
in Erie because of the cost.
That would be fine.
We're going to have a kiosk system where.
You pick the spot and you say, I'm in this spot, or you
Right.
punch in your plate number and it knows where you
Well,
are.
what they'll do is they'll either have to. Here you can't stripe the ground because that's bad in winter.
Yeah.
So they'll probably put numbers on the poles.
Right.
You'll go to a kiosk. There'll be probably one in every block or
That
two.
would be fantastic.
And they will do, what they're going to do is they're going to have a trial period where the company will be here for a month or two.
Yeah.
And they'll run you through have people at the spot helping you. Because it's going to be novel. It's going to be
I will camp out there and just keep throwing
it's like when you go
quarters
into the
in
10th Street
because
parking ramp and
we need to have something like that. I think it would
you ever been down to Hammett where they don't have any tellers sometimes?
Yeah.
People get all confused.
The last thing I want to talk about is something else I saw in Colorado that was great for tourism, rent a bicycle.
Yep.
They have these stands that you pop 50 cents in or $1 and you
Yeah,
take the bicycle and
They where?
can
You
you
have it on a peninsula, you can rent them on a peninsula.
but this
Yeah.
was an automated thing where you put the money in, you take the bike out, or you put your credit card, you run it through, and then you bring the
What he's
bike
talking
out.
about is
It's how you pay.
they got them in
Yeah.
Chicago. They just put them, I think, recently in Pittsburgh. I heard.
Yeah.
You go up to a bike stand. They're kind of ugly looking bikes, but,
Yeah, but-
they're heavy.
They're pretty frumpy, but they were pretty awesome too. So I just wanted to put that out there
Hey,
because
the worst thing they ever did is put those four people on the bike.
no, those Surreys
Them
are
are the
cool,
worst.
man.
Them
That's
are
a
the
do
worst.
you see the amount of people that rent those things?
They take those
That's
the whole
money
bike
coming.
down.
You know what
that's
we had in
money
Erie and
coming
they got
in.
rid of it?
And they're banned.
They had
at
the
a certain
pedal.
point.
They had the pedal pub down at the peninsula.
You can't go past Perry Monument with it.
I was coming on the bike. I was on the bike. That's when I was biking.
Yeah.
I went past Waterworks, and you got that big bend there.
Yeah.
And here, all of a sudden, this guy's flying with this thing. right down the middle of the path. I ended up flying into rocks. My legs were all...
Rob.
But no, this is bullshit. They're taking the whole bike. Excuse the lang, excuse me.
Hey, Mike,
I made a
watch that
mistake.
tape.
But don't know, but...
I'm gonna have to ban you.
Hit the 7 second
We have to
delay,
ban you.
and
No,
then
but that was
fade
bad.
to black.
My leg. I couldn't even find a rubber. I couldn't even find a Band-Aid or nothing. I went the first day and
Anything.
everything.
Band-Aid or anything.
We'll bring this up again
My wife's
next
going to be cringing at home with your
We're gonna
English language.
We're
and
gonna go
swearing.
now. We're over on time.
Hey, by
Thanks
the way,
for coming and
they had pedal pubs. They got rid of them at the Peninsula.
I don't know what that is.
You could actually run a pub, pedal pub. Well, you can't do alcohol down at the Peninsula,
Yeah.
but you could put like beverages on it.
Yeah.
And you basically rent it out and you pedal it.
2 other things I want
And
to
you just
see.
drive,
We need to get the rickshaws back in Erie, and they have mobile hot tubs that they'll bring to your party and park and fill
we're
up,
not-
and then you use the hot tub, and then they'll take it back.
Don't
That's
forget,
all I
you're
got.
You're in a distraught city. They don't even know what that stuff is, some of these people.
Do you think the bikes would work here, though? I mean, is there enough
We're
territory?
going to talk about it next week because there's territories everywhere.
No, I mean, I'm just wondering if there's enough of a usage here for it,
I think if you build it, they will come, and I hate to use that.
Well, no, it's up to a business to put it in there.
We
I mean,
need-
there's another thing you got to talk to Mr. Buckner about.
We are going to.
This guy even bringing
Let's
up
bring
that
him on.
shit.
Let's
Who's
bring
this
him on
guy?
the show.
All right.
Who is
Thank
this
you.
guy?
Thank you. We're going to find out. We're
Head
gonna
of the
get in here.
downtown improvement
That's that
district.
new guy. He's supposed to make the city grow.
No, that's a different.
We're all supposed to help make the city grow. Even
But this
you.
guy. but
Remember,
this
that's
guy-
Charles Buki. That's Charles Buki. This is
Not Buckner.
Buckner.
Oh.
You're getting your B's mixed up.
Okay, but no, I'm just saying. What are they paying this guy?
We'll
Sit
talk
around and
about
nothing.
it next week.
Ronnie, when you were gone, what kind of
We missed you.
Yeah.
A lot of people miss me. That's why they called me up and told me to get my butt down here.
When I say miss you, I mean with the shotgun and the target.
Yeah, but I'll show
I
you.
had people that said it was a nice time without you here, too, so.
A lot of people. You
No,
wouldn't
I had
surprise
a
what they
bug-
tell- What they tell you, you'd shit when if I told you.
Thanks.
Oh, there we go.
Thanks
Well,
for watching. We're done. Thank
You're going to be banned, I'm telling you.
you. That's 2 strikes.
No, I'm just saying.
You get a what?
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access